What's up, guys? Welcome back to another podcast episode. I'll just I'll just put it right here. Of 207 Talk. So as you see today, there's no guest. Today is just gonna be me and God. But today I want to be talking about truth. Truth. Truth, honestly, to me is a very interesting topic because you get me. When we're born, we're told what truth is. If most do not understand that. I mean that when we're born, you get me, as babies, we do not know from good and evil. So we don't know whether this is right or this is wrong. So we are told what is right and what is wrong, and we expect that to be the truth. And we could be easily lied about that. You get me? Because I feel like most of us, you get me. When I was born, I was told if someone hits me, I had to hit them back. Eye for an eye. That was the truth I was told. I was told that's the way. You get me? That's just an example. And then, when I turned 15, I was found out that that's not the way. That violence isn't necessarily the answer to that. You get me? I'm not saying you should. You get me? I get like you get the feelings of wanting to fight against someone back, but that's not the right way. You get me? Jesus tells us the truth. You get me? Which is if someone punches, or for example, if someone slaps you, turn to your next cheek or to your right cheek, and allow them to slap you back again. You get me? And most will not understand that, but basically in the historical context, if someone were to slap you with I think it was your left or your right, I don't remember, but it was basically, for example, if you would slap them with your right, then if you would slap them again with your left, that would be showing like signs of disrespect, because I think it was with your left that you would wipe your butt back then. It was something like that. I don't fully remember. I'm sorry, forgive me. But you can go and check it for yourself if you want. I recommend you guys go and check it for yourself. But matter of fact, let's get a pause real quick. How's y'all's week? I mean, how's y'all's week? My week was very, very nice. My week was nice. It was very cool. God showed me amazing stuff, which is why I'm coming here today and talking about it. But yeah, I'm not hanging on. Let's talk about it more. I found out that people, most of the time, do not like, or no, I found that most of the people, most of the time, think that their truth, for example, following Jesus, you know how Jesus is the truth, they believe that their emotions can have more faith in Jesus, if that makes sense. Like basically saying that, like, they feel like God is telling them what to do, so they're following their emotions instead of following God, meaning that their truth isn't Jesus but rather in themselves, which is their emotions. Now, what am I trying to say here? Basically, what I'm trying to say here is that if we follow our emotions into believing that is the truth, because then we're trying to say that our truth is basically believing in God. I mean, our truth is basically believing in Jesus, but we're following our emotions towards Him. When in reality, we should just follow Jesus to follow God, which is the truth. But if we just want to follow our emotions, then we're going to be led astray, because our emotions cannot tell us what God is telling us. Sure, I get it. Sometimes you feel like you get the wave of the Holy Spirit and you feel the Holy Spirit in me, which is okay and it's awesome. But it's not necessarily God telling you something. It's not necessarily God telling you, for example, I guess like for example, when you're praying and God answers you. For me, He answers me in, is it 3 ways? Yeah, 3 ways. He answers me with a yes, a no, and a wait. Yes being yes, go ahead. No being no, don't do that. And wait being wait. Wait for the answer, basically. Wait until I tell you what to do. Just wait. So instead of us doing stuff like that, we tend to follow our emotions. And then our emotions leave us astray, and then we blame God for it. You get it? By the way, if you are still watching, thank you. I know I'm not the best speaker. Most of the times I say the thing twice and I don't even realize it. But thank you for keep watching. Appreciate it. But basically, the more you follow your emotions, the more lost you're gonna get. Because I get it that your emotions do help you in the way that God speaks to you. But if you always rely on your emotions in a way for God to speak to you, then you're going to be led astray. When in reality, you have to rely on God to speak to you and not your emotions. You have to rely that God will speak to you, and you have to pray that God will give you the understanding. Not give you, will let you gain the understanding from reading your word for Him to speak to you. To speak to you. You know what I mean? God speaks to us in many ways. One of them being, He speaks to us in His word, through our experiences and other people's experience, and through our friends and family members. And what I see that is cool is that through our emotions, I mean, not through our emotions, my bad. What I see that is cool is that through His word, for me at least, He speaks to me through a lot of His word because I read His word a lot. So He speaks to me through that a lot. And most of the times, like I said, for me, it's yes, no, wait. And which sometimes, for me personally, when He says yes, I feel awesome because I'm like, yes, that means we're on the same, you get me, ideal path. But then when He says no, I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. I went the wrong way and He's telling me to get back on it. Because, my thoughts are not His thoughts. And my plans are not His plans for what He has for me. And I want to follow Him. I want to follow what He has for me and not what I have for Him. So, yeah, I guess it's hard in the moment to understand um, what the truth is with your emotions, like in the way you understand with God. Like, again, in the start of your relationship with God, you tend to rely on your emotions for God to speak to you, and you can't always rely on that. You have to stop in a moment to stop relying on that so you can start believing in God. You get me? For example, I wish I knew my verses by memory. Like 2 verses by memory, and this is not the one for me to forget. But basically, I think it was in Jeremiah 59, verse 12, or verse 11, I think it was. Could have been around there, where God says, "For I have plans to prosper you and not forsake you." Actually, hold up. Is that how you say it? Hold up. I don't think that's how you say it. Hold up. Hold up. Give me a second. Let me say. Oh, I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29, verse 11 is what that was. You get me? We gotta trust in God. And one thing that actually, we gotta trust in God on that when it comes to that. And if you guys hear anything in the background, that is my mother. She is working at home today, so just, let that flow. But yeah, that's cool. And I know our emotions is mainly the problem. That was a cuss screen because my mom came to ask me something, but we're good. But either way, I don't even remember what I was gonna say because my mom had asked me something. But I think I was talking about emotions and the truth. But basically, our emotions can lead us astray a lot because for me, my parents got divorced and then they got back together, and then I feared of making the mistake that one of my parents made, and intellectually I know that I could have learned from the mistakes and I knew that, but I allowed my emotions to lie to me and tell me that I was going to end up being a failure like them, that I was going to end up doing that and I wouldn't have a chance to make it back. So you get me? If we rely on our emotions are always going to lie to us and tell us what's not the truth. But if we rely on God, God is going to tell us what the truth is, which is that God will lead you into a future where you will not be harmed, or you will not be dismayed, forsaken, but you will be for it will be a future of hope in him, that he will lead you into wherever he wants you to go. But yeah, that's today's episode basically. Just wanted to come here and talk about that. I thought it was interesting because emotions and truth. Because when we're born, we're told what the truth is, and our emotions tell us that it is true. But if we rely on emotions, then we'll be led astray. But if we follow Jesus, then we'll be led to the truth. And by the way, for those that think that Jesus isn't the truth, there is evidence. Not I cannot prove to you that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, but there's evidence of proving that, historical evidence, knowledge evidence. I believe that I've watched a clip of this episode where he said that science shows evidence of God. So you get me, if you want to go and see that, you should go, and definitely it helps a lot. But yeah, see you guys on the next episode. Bye.